Hello, this is Yahweasel, this is Radical Dreamers. So, the only thing we have left to try is understanding why suddenly I can't move. Why did it, like, deconfigure it? What the hell? Oh, come on, emulator! One brief reconfiguration later. Well, I've only got one other thing to try, so sure. I take the worn leather scroll into my hands and examine it. What's this? Secret ninja training techniques? I ask sarcastically. Kid smiles lazily, rolling her eyes. I unfasten the tie and open up the scroll. Oh, wow. Strange symbols are written in length on the scroll. A lot has been written here. It appears this took some time to write. Judging by my fact that this is something of importance, Kid walks over and takes a look. Oh, it's an Imperial code chart primer. It's used for transmitting information through enemy lines. Really? I can't read any of it. You gotta show us how to use this thing. What would I want to do that for? Ruin the secrecy, she says, walking off alone. Maybe she can't read it either. Okay, well, what are we gonna do about this big old hunk of rock? Kids asks hastily. Well, I wanted to put the coins in, but apparently that's not an option. So I guess I'll just give up then. Bewildered, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go back to that other door. Okay, let's continue down the passageway. Thank you. This is where we should have gone before, following the left wall, but didn't. We come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try and bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle into this otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. Bet it's Lake's daughter's room, Kid says, surveying some of the items. The letter on the desk and the warm it's still warm? On the warm teacup hint of a woman living here. I mean, we shouldn't be here, while, like, she was obviously here 5 minutes ago. However, after searching the room, no one is found. All we find are various odds. Okay, that's magical. I was freaking out for a second. Odds and ends. A beautifully arranged set of flowers, a white handkerchief carelessly tossed aside. We just pace up and down the room. A small bottle of perfume and so on. Although this stuff adds atmosphere to the room, none of it is really worth anything to us. Kid also seems to feel this way, disregarding most of the stuff in here. She picks up a small box, decorated with a serpentine coat of arms. However, like the rest of the items in here, it looks like it's of little worth to us. What should I do now? Check the bed, ask Kid to open the small... Well, let's open the small box. As Kid slowly opens the box, a comforting melody fills the air. That song, Kid suddenly says, standing up beside me. I look over to her, seeing her expression has changed to vulnerable curiosity. Chasing a long-lost memory. Such just... What am I... Hammy writing? You know this song, Kid? Yeah. A long time ago, someone I knew used to sing it to me. Lakes, specifically. She turns away from me, rubbing her eyes. Is she Lynx's child? Kid, I say softly, putting my hands on her shoulder. After a moment or two, she looks back at me. Tears are running down her cheeks. Without saying a word, Kid walks quickly to the door. Hey, wait up, Kid, I say, chasing after her. Okay, so we seem to have kind of done all we can with Lynx's quarter. For the time being, anyway. Actually, you know what? I could try asking the mirror a better question. There are lots of things I could ask, but instead I can only ask... Well, in that case... I don't even get a choice! Oh my god! It's... Fine, in that case, tell me about your past if I can only ask one question. After a moment of silence, the statue's reflection starts to speak in a very humble tone. You have interest in my past? Yeah, what blazes are you? Kid interrupts. Well, it's probably been 300 years already since I was crafted in the realm of the looking glass. Statue's soft voice explains. The realm of the looking glass, I ask. It's the flip side of this world, a world which harbors the objective contents of thoughts. Magil. Oh, whoops, that was Magil. It's the flip side of this world, a world which harbors the objective contents of thoughts, Magil quickly answers. I need to wait, to know who's talking. Passing through the hands of many owners, I traveled far and wide throughout many lands. So how did you end up here, Kid asks. I came here with a kindred spirit, but now I am alone. Furthermore, now that I am without others of my own kind, I have begun to fade. I'm so lonely. Tears trickle down the statue's face as it begins to whip me quietly. If we come across any other mirrors like you, we'd surely come back and tell you, I say, trying to comfort it. Thank you so much. Your kindness shines, truly. The Venus statue bows its head deeply, and with that, the reflection returns to its normal appearance. Indeed, we have yet to explore much of this mansion, Magil says, heading for the door. Indeed we have! Okay, let's get out of this whole sort of side of the mansion. I mean, I kind of want to go back in here and explore a bit farther. You know what? I'm already here. I'll explore a bit farther. Yes, enter the room, please. Yes? Did the game freeze? What the hell? Are you serious? I chose enter the room and the game is just frozen. For realsies? For realsies? No, I didn't choose enter the room. It's just that my controller has gone mad. What the hell? Yeah, something is very wrong with my controller. It keeps on just turning itself off or something. Yep, we come into this same room. We've already been here, blah, blah, blah. Yep, fine. No one is found, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hello! A breeze coming in through a slightly open window refreshes me a little. Wait, that window wasn't open before. Someone was just in here, it seems. Let's come back another time. We don't want to get caught snooping around. For the time being, we leave Riddell's room. Okay. So I guess we're not allowed back in here for now. Okay, so let's pass the atrium. There's not a lot to do with that for the moment. So let's take the stairs. I follow Kid up the narrow set of stairs, hoping not to lose my balance. We've ascended the staircase. In front of us, paths extend in 3 directions. To the left lies a dark corridor, and to the right leads us out onto the terrace. This path also continues on ahead. Let's go left into the dark corridor. We head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door. Go in? Sure, why not? I have no idea who's saying this. Guess this is the study. This huge room is faintly lit by the moonlight, shining in through a tall window. In the back of the room stands a large, ornately decorated desk. Row after row of bookshelves house thousands of thick, dusty books. A painting is hung on the rear wall, sharing space with various exotic curios. There's too many bookshelves to explore. Let's look at the painting. I walk over and examine the painting, illuminated by the pale moonlight. It's a watercolor painting depicting a peculiar scenario. Within the painting, it appears to be day and night, as well as spring, summer, autumn, and winter, all at the same time. Everything looks melted away, fading into everything else. We could have shown you this with images, because this is a visual novel, but instead we've decided to describe it in words. At the core of this swirling, chaotic maelstrom, there's a small black gem, burning with a deep red flame inside of it. What is it, mate? Find something valuable? Well, that gem that's painted appears to be the frozen flame. Kid comes over to my side and reaches out for a fancy plate. The ransom for just one of these could feed a family for an entire year, I bet. Suddenly she stops, looking over towards me. Come on, there's no wrong in taking it. Let's focus on the flame, kid. Why? Just steal whatever you want to. She's a thief. After a moment, she hesitantly puts the decorated plate back on the shelf. Suddenly, we start to hear footsteps coming this way. Though they aren't that loud, they boom like thunder in the night. Kid and I jump up. Magil swiftly conceals himself in the nearby shadows. Behind the door! Kid and I quickly hide behind the door with our backs pressed against the wall. I hold my breath as the door creaks open. A quivering candlelight spreads through the doorway. However, whoever opened the door doesn't seem to have any intention of entering the room.
Thought I heard something. No reason for anybody to be in here, though, since the master is away. Still, with those poor southerners on the move, it's better safe than sorry.
The door closes softly, blanketing the room in darkness once again. The voice becomes more and more distant as the footsteps fade into silence. Still we wait, without moving a muscle. So, Por is up to something, Magil mutters, emerging from the shadows. Por is a large country governing the southern continent. I hear it's a pretty well-developed and fairly prosperous place. What would they be after in these outlands? Surely not the frozen flame. No matter how valuable it may be, in the end, it's just a jewel, a piece of rock. How valuable could it really be? Could it be? Whoa, wait a second. Is the frozen flame the Chrono Trigger? Is the frozen flame just the new name in this time period for the Chrono Trigger? The item in Chrono Trigger? The Chrono Trigger? The Chrono Trigger? That would be interesting. That would be a thing. We leave the study, retracing our steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a three-way branch. There's a descending staircase in front of us, in addition to passageways on the right and left. The one on the left will take us back towards the terrace. Well, back to the left we go. Yep, okay. After continuing through the passage for a while, the terrace comes into view on the right. I take a deep breath of the fresh evening air, hoping to calm my senses. Well, that's on the right, so we're not going to go that way. Continue through this passageway. Follow the left wall. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. After a few moments, we come to another old dusty door on the right. Kid quietly presses her ear against the door. Quiet as a church mouse. No one's in there, mate. But it's on the right, so we're not going to do it. My actions are 100% predictable. Proceeding again up on the path, we come to a staircase going up and a firm-looking set of doors. They're on the left, though. There better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate. Okay, in we go. Just like I thought. Locked, Kid says after jiggling the handle. Frustrated, she kicks the door. This might slow us down, but sure as bloody hell won't keep us out. Well, unless we find the key, there's nothing we can do, kid. Let's get to it, then. I bet Lakes has got it stashed up in his room somewhere, the bastard. Unable to do anything, we leave to look elsewhere. I mean, I know where his room is, and we could go back there and search, but we can always search there later, so let's continue up the stairs. We haven't even sort of explored all of the open area yet. With Kid in the lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. It feels like we're heading up to a scaffold to be executed. Yeah, because those are always as high up as possible. That makes sense. Atop the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread. There's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door, says Kid, so don't say anything loud or they'll hear you. I fear the worst. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I say. What's the matter, you chicken? She says while glancing at me, but I can tell by the sound of her voice that she isn't feeling much better about this than I am. There's something wrong about this place, and we all know it. Okay, in we go! It's a small room, one you find in a stone tower. It's empty, and I can't find a single window in it. Also, it goes on infinitely, or just the walls are pure black. What the hell kind of room is this? Although she's trying to hide it, I notice a shiver running down. You can't notice a shiver running down someone's spine. It's not a visible thing. It's like an internal feeling. There may be something of use here. Let us search more closely, Magil says quietly. You really think we'll find something? I mean, move a stone or something? Kid proceeds to the middle of the room while I examine the walls and floor. The stone floor is filled with countless scratches, covered by splotches of dry, dark ink. I had to wait for the end of the quote to know who's saying it. Hey, Magil, would you come over here, please? Something is carved into the wall here. I think it's an inscription of some sort. Magil kneels down in front of the wall and examines the writing. Looking closer at it, it appears to be written in blood. Indeed, this text has been worn down with age. Most of it is unreadable. Here's what I can make. Here's what I can make out. Here's what the narrator can make out. Won't last longer. Dragoons he enchant swore order to proof. So there was a prisoner here. Some dragoons, the dragoons of something Shia, were enchanted in some way, presumably by Lynx. The guy who was trapped in here was probably trying to escape to get evidence, get the proof to the Shia dragoons. Oh, we're dead. Without any warning, the door slams shut. We stand up, taken by surprise. Then suddenly, a low rumbling starts to fill the room. What's happening? Kid shouts, looking around frantically. What's that above us? It's death! Welcome to die! Oh, did it not even give us an opportunity to do anything? Oh, okay. Try to stop the ceiling, break through the wall, try to ram the door. Kid flies like an arrow, ramming against the door. Yeah, let's have the lightest person do that. Her small body bounces back. The door is far too heavy. Bollocks! Magil streaks across the room like a hurricane, dashing against the solid oak. He doesn't use magic because he's a frickin' idiot. The door creaks but holds tight. My turn. I ram... Don't do it two at once so that you have more weight behind you. I ram into the door with all my strength. Ah! A heavy shock shoots through my body, but the door doesn't budge an inch. The rumbling continues to get louder and louder, reminding us of the rusty blades eager to greet us. Serge, Magil, come here, come on, together! The three of us start to ram against the door simultaneously with all our strength. The door hinge gives. We stumble outside, barely escaping certain death. Behind us, we hear the gut-wrenching sounds of the blades meeting the stone floor. I watch. Wait, if the hinges gave way, the door shouldn't be open like that. It should either be open the other way or knocked entirely off its hinges. I watch the morbid scene in a daze, gasping huge breaths of air. Well, that was fun. Finally, the grinding sound fades away. It seems the ceiling has stopped. And then, you know, it's fine. Very, very obvious trap. Damn that Lynx toying with us like that. That's not a torture chamber. That's not what a torture chamber is. Torture chambers aren't death chambers. There's a distinction. So this is the torture chamber. I wonder how many of the Acacia Dragoons it is claimed, Magil whispers. Who, I ask? The Acacia Dragoons! They were once an elite force serving General Viper, a powerful man who used to rule the western territory of... They were defeated more than 10 years ago by the very hands of Lord Lynx. By the looks of things, we have apparently found their resting place. Who cares, says Kid as she stands up. Generals and knights and everything. It sounds like some old bedtime story. Magil shrugs his shoulder in silence as we start down the stairs, eager to get away from this awful place. With Kid leading the way, we descend the stairs. At the bottom of the staircase. Yep. Here we go. Sturdy looking door on the right. That's the one that was locked. We need to find the key. Maybe in, what's his name's room? And here's the door on the left that we didn't do yet because it was on the left. What's with all this junk? Must be a storeroom or something. Do you want to show me this? There we go. This is not a storeroom, yeah. Seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted, and cogs are spinning randomly without connecting with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention, off in a far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is, though. Do not touch anything out of the ordinary, Magil says abruptly, sending a sudden shock down my spine. However, just as he says this, I see Kid emerge from the shadows, dragging the large object out into the middle of the room. It's a large antique sword. I like antique swords. We've got no use for that old thing, Kid. All it'll do is slow us down. Besides, we probably won't even get much money for it. Huh. I reckon it's worth a lot to the right buyer, like an antique collector or somebody. Sulking, Kid quietly lays the sword down. I don't know who's saying this. What do you want? I look around. Oh, somebody new. What do you want? I look around, startled. That was definitely not any of our voices. Kid and Magil immediately take position, focusing their attention towards the source of the voice. Who's there? A figure suddenly appears out of the darkness. It seems to be a short old woman with a large hood over her head. Although fully covered, it's obvious she's quite old. It's just some old hag, Kid says. Magil's sharp gaze on the woman remains unchanged, however.
Heh, what an energetic young lady. You haven't come here this late in the evening just to drop in on some friends, I'd imagine.
I glance at Kid. Perhaps you have
Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx.
My heart jumps. This is definitely not good. Will she warn the rest of them about us? Yeah, let's tell the truth, why not? Kid's eyes narrow. If we did have a score to settle with that bastard, what's it to you? The point is, tell the truth, then murder her.
Heh, just as I expected.
The old woman cackles in amusement.
Children, they're always so interesting like that. So imaginative yet so predictable.
Huh? What are you talking about, old lady? Oh, okay. This is all interesting. A, this is the music from the box, and B, this is the story of our story that we're doing.
Oh, it's already been 4 or 5 years, I would gather. According to what I was told, one night a young thief came to the manor looking for trouble. The thief was a little girl, about 10 years old.
4 or 5 years, she's not yet 16, or she's not yet 17, so... yeah, add a couple years to that, this could be Kid. Surprised, I glance at Kid. There's a trace of an ice-like radiance in her eyes. Staring at her makes me feel like it suddenly dropped below freezing in here. Unfazed, the old woman continues her story.
The girl was an orphan. She set off to face Master Lynx all alone, hoping to avenge the girl who had...
Wait, what? Hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a... Okay,
hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a big sister, who I didn't introduce before this point to be confusing. But after all, she was all alone. Outnumbered and overpowered, she was eventually defeated and captured by Master Lynx's henchmen. As an ally, Master Lynx can be quite an asset. However, as an enemy, he can be one of the most fearsome men alive. If not for a friend who sneaked in and secretly rescued her, she surely would have perished. From what I've heard, this mysterious figure could allegedly slip in and out
of the shadows. Who could allegedly slip in and out of the shadows was the subject of many whispers at the manor,
long after this incident had come to pass.
Not moving a muscle, I try to look for Magil. He's nowhere to be seen. I can only guess he's sporting one of those trademark expressionless faces somewhere off in the darkness. The inhabitants of Viper Manor don't condemn the unfortunate, because no one can win all the time. However, from time to time, the goddess of fate has been known to cast down those who have too much good luck, throwing the cogs of time out of order. Get it? The cogs of time? Because we're in this room with all these cogs? Am I good at imagery? Am I doing well now? It's not wise to try and stand against fate, continuing to repeat one's mistakes time and time again. The old woman continues, staring straight at Kid, smiling sweetly. If you want to steal the jewel, and if you really want to beat him, you too must give up your most valued possession, Kid. As long as you cling to it, the hands of your clock will never budge. They'll stay frozen, trapped in the distant past. Who the bloody hell is this old hag? Me? Oh, just an old lady. Pay me no mind. Thank you for listening to this old maid for such a long time. I certainly hope I haven't delayed you at all. But before you leave, which one of you? With that, the old woman looks in my direction. Ah, yes. You look like you've got a bit of scrape there. A bit of a scrape there. Would you let me have a look at it? What should I do? I don't know whether to be petrified or comforted by this. Yeah, sure, why not? How bad could it be? The old woman clasps her hands together, bowing her head. She mumbles a few words in a low tone. Suddenly, a gentle pale blue light surrounds my body, filling me with a strange warmth. Wow, look at that! My wounds are being healed before my eyes! It feels as though there's some sort of soft music being played all around me, putting me in a strange serenity. When I come around, or when I come to, whatever, the woman is gone. Hello? Lady? Says Kid, relentlessly looking around. However, there's no trace of her. All signs of her presence are gone. What was up with that old hag? Looking around, I can't help but wonder what she was talking about, with all that talk about a prized possession and everything. Let's get our asses out of here. This place is giving me the creeps, says Kid all of a sudden, already heading for the door. Hey, wait up! As I catch up with Kid, she gives me a friendly poke in the ribs. Ain't no fair you were the only one who got healed. Yeah, ain't no fair at all. For next time, until then, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, join us on Discord at yahweasel.com/Discord. Cheers from Yahweasel.